All right, welcome in, everybody. Camera. I don't know why this happened with the camera, but I've got more room. I don't have to be quite so far off to the whatever. You get it. Welcome into the Rant, everybody. I'm Pugs Moran, live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios. We do this every day. It's talk radio of a different sort. Certainly not the kind you're going to hear on the radio. What we do here is lifestyle and current events-driven conversation talk. And by that, I mean, it's just me. Me in the chat room. Let's see who's in the chat room today. We've got Rainy Days in the chat room. We got Barney in the chat room. We got Adam. Adam's glad. Adam says, I had a meeting today, so I'm glad it's a later show. It is a later show. Is my color bad? Yeah, I feel like the lighting is off today. I feel like I'm a little bit washed out. I'd like to fix it, but watch. The minute I fix the lighting, the camera behind the eagle is going to change. Watch. All right, let me dim this. See if I can make it a little warmer. Okay, so far nothing. So far it's working. Now, there it goes. See? Yeah, that's weird. The frequency of the studio lights that we have in here, the same as the YouTube remote control. So that's a problem. But it's a fun one. It's a fun problem to have. See, I don't know. Fuck these lights. I don't like it. We're just gonna deal with it, okay? Because honestly, this is supposed to be radio. You're not supposed to be looking at. Now they're gonna make us watch a Marvel commercial. Thunderbolts. Marvel presents Thunderbolts. Gotta say, I'm unfamiliar with the Thunderbolts. Sports Bras in the chat room. Al's in the chat room. I don't want to leave anybody out. Did I say hi to Taronda? Taronda in the chat room. Come one, come all. Got a lot of stuff to talk about today. And then we'll be doing another live stream tonight. Yeah, we're going to live stream. It's I'm not sure what time, though. Maybe 6:30. I don't know. We're going to do another installment. We did it last week, and we're going to do another installment of Shock House Dallas. It's kind of a sports guy talk hybrid thing that I'm working on. It's myself, it's the Sports Bras, and anybody else who wants to be a part of it. We'll see. We'll see if we choose you to be a part of our group. Shock House Dallas, like, follow, subscribe. This channel, it'll be on this channel, and so if you probably tonight, 6, 7, I don't know. It's honestly, it depends on when they get home from work. I'll be here all day and all night. All right, that's coming up tonight. It's draft preview. I got a lot of draft hot takes. We're going to talk Cowboys draft. We're going to talk tonight, probably in depth, about something that we're going to talk about here today. We're going to get into this whole Shannon Sharpe situation that I told you about yesterday. Remember yesterday I told you about how Shannon Sharpe was being sued and ESPN was being sued. All these people were being sued because Shannon Sharpe hooked up with some young girl he met at the gym. It happens, rich, successful celebrity men. They're always hooking up with hot girls at the gym. I think it's why they go to the gym. Hey, darling, need a little help with your rent this month? I mean, that's the way of the world. You may not like it, but it is real. It absolutely is. So that story has exploded since yesterday. We've got audio tape we're going to listen to. We've got text message we're going to investigate. Oh, my God. So we're going to go deep. No pun intended, on the Shannon Sharpe and his 23-year-old. I don't know. Some people are like, she's 18. No, she's not. She was 20 when they met. He's like 1,000,000 years old. I don't even know how old is Shannon? Well, we'll get into that. So we're going to talk about that story. Got a whole bunch more stuff we got to talk about today as well. We'll get into all the current events. Stock market, we'll check it out. We'll find out in real time what the stock market's doing. What else do we have to talk about on today's show? It is a good show. I do have a lot of fun stuff. Oh, we're going to rank the Dallas suburbs. That's right. A new study has been put out. It ranks not the Dallas suburbs, the suburbs of Texas, but really, why don't we just say the Dallas suburbs? Because we dominate. We here in North Texas dominate the list of the best suburbs in the great state of Texas. So we'll get into that. We're also going to talk about Shakespeare today. Why? Because it's a weird Shakespeare day. Don't worry. Trust me. You'll enjoy it, I think. I don't know. It's a Shakespeare day in the world. Here's why. Do you know? All right, I don't typically like to give this away because I think it's a nice surprise. Although, who am I fooling? It's just weird. We do this show in 4 quarters. We start out with something called Antecedently on This Day. It's all the events that have happened in this day in history. A couple of Shakespeare-related things have happened in this day in history, but they didn't make the cut because of the other Shakespeare stuff. Then quarter two, we do birthdays. We talk about people who were born on this day. Well, Shakespeare was born on this day. So we'll get into that. Then third quarter, we do deads, people who died on this day. Shakespeare died on this day. Shakespeare is one of the weird guys who was born and died on the exact same day. So we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk a little bit about things that you're like, I don't know anything about Shakespeare. People don't think they know anything about Shakespeare. Yeah, you do. I'm gonna share with you a list of things that you've all seen that you have no idea are adaptations of Shakespeare. Okay? So stop it with it's boring. Yeah, I agree. The old English, thou shalt not have that biblical bullshit English that we don't talk anymore. That's a beating. But you can't enjoy modern, updated dialogue from a Shakespeare place and still be like, yeah. All right. Anyway, we'll get into that. It's not gonna be the whole show, but indulge me because I think that's a fun little segment that I put together for us. Also, what else do we got to get into? Let's see here. Pope's funeral. We'll touch on that. Some bad news for Sarah Palin. I'm always down for some bad news for Sarah Palin. The FDA has decided they're going to make all our food ugly. Yeah, more on that. All our food is going to be gross. We're going to eat gross looking food from now on because of the damn RFK Jr. Is that his name? RHK? It's RFK. RFK Jr. All right. And then also a nice little tribute to Pee Wee Herman we'll get into today because something Pee Wee's in the news and a whole bunch of other things. All right, so that's what's coming up on today's show. First and foremost, though, I want to thank everybody for coming out to trivia last night. Last night was trivia night. We do it every Tuesday. Starts about 7:30. Tuesday at the Back Nine in Addison, 4060 Beltline Road. Come one, come all. Great prizes. Gave out drugs last night. Yeah, we did. We gave out drugs. Diabetes medication. Month supply went to no, that's not what we did. Had some of them legal weed cookies and stuff. Like a big giant one went to the winner. I don't know that the winner used it because last night's trivia winner from 93.3 WBAP, it was James Parker. James Parker, your afternoon host there at WBAP 93.3. He came out. He dominated. That's right. The days when Bill Folk from the chat room would dominate chat are over, or dominate trivia are over. Can we talk about April? Let's talk about April. April, who was last week's trivia winner. She throned Bill last week. April, also from the chat room. I'm so proud that our chat people are smart. April came out last week to throne Bill. And then she was in a dogfight the whole night. The whole night she was in a dogfight with James Parker. They were neck and neck. But then, here's what did it though. Actually, you know what? Let me give her some credit. I think these are two questions that she got right. Okay. And these were kind of difficult questions. So here was one. I think she got this right. I'm not sure. I don't know. Somebody got this right and I was very impressed. So a question in the category of 2000s television that I asked. In the 2005 remake of the television series Kojak, what actor, who is a big star now, was cast to play New York Police Lieutenant Theo Kojak? What actor, who's a big star now, in 2005, for like half a season on CBS, played Kojak? Who is he? Nobody got it right. I think April did. Did April get Ving Rhames? Ving Rhames is who I was looking for. Ving Rhames. You know what she did get, though? I asked in the category of pop culture. I asked, what's Lady Gaga's real name? April knew it. April knew it was Stephanie. Lady Gaga is Stephanie Germanotta, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, do you want to know one that only half the room got? And this was so depressing. Only half the room got. And we had a lot of players last night. We had the most amount of players for round 2 yesterday that we've had in the 5 weeks now that we've been doing trivia every Tuesday out there. Here's a question that I was shocked that nobody got. What galaxy does the Earth belong to? In other words, where are you? Where are you in the universe? Do you fucking know where you are in the universe? What is this galaxy called? Yes, we're on the planet Earth. What galaxy? Nobody knew that we were in the Milky Way. Nobody knew. A lot of them tried to overthink it. A lot of them were like, the Van Allen Straits. And no, It's the Van Allen belt. That is not the universe or the galaxy. Anyway, it was fun. So we'll do it again next week, every Tuesday night, 4060 Beltline Road at the back 9. I'll have a whole new slate of questions and a whole bunch of new categories. What was another one? What was let's see, what was another one that people didn't get that I thought they should absolutely get? I thought everybody would get this one. What's bigger, the North American grizzly bear or an African lion? I asked that. That was in the category of animals. Animal fun. What's bigger, the North American grizzly bear or the African lion? Like, everybody said the African lion. That would be wrong. The North American grizzly bear is much bigger than the king of the jungle by like 150 pounds and a full foot, like taller. So a grizzly bear would get, look, the next obvious question is what would win in a fight? A North American grizzly bear would kick the shit out of an African lion. King of the jungle, yeah, only because grizzly bears don't live there. All right, let's move on. Watch, grizzly bears do live there. All right, let's get started. As I explained, we do this show in 4 quarters. First one is about history. Second one is about birthdays. Third one is about people who died on this day. And then the fourth one is all the hot topics and current events that we have going on here. Adam says, I bet Brandon would peddle Ozempic. Hold on. I bet Brandon would peddle Ozempic. That is technically a diabetes drug. He would peddle anything as long as he felt morally comfortable with it. And Ozempic is changing a lot of people's lives. I wouldn't shove that shit in me, but hey, other people are. A lot of people who weren't shoving the coronavirus or vax or whatever into them are standing in line for the fat people drugs. I got no question about that. All right. Thank you, Adam. Appreciate that. Who else? Anybody new in the chat? 6 o'clock, Sports Bras is saying. Sports Bras is saying he's promising a 6 o'clock home start time for tonight's Shock House Dallas. I don't think so, though. I don't think it'll be 6. It'll be somewhere in there. Adam says, no spin class next week, so I'll try and go. Adam's got spin class. Adam, I'm just going to start calling you BJ. You are BJ from the Righteous Gemstones. That's you have more in common with BJ, who, I'll tell you, is probably the coolest and best person on the show. He's probably the only good person. The only true, not Gideon, the oldest Gemstone son, is a good person. But he did try and, murder his dad. So maybe not. Anyway, if you're familiar with the Righteous Gemstones, Adam at his spin class. Are you taking pole dancing next? Like BJ? Are you going to be a pole dancing champion? All right. Adam, I hope you can come out. Make no mistake, though, should you show up, I will be on the mic telling everybody that you've given up your pole dancing class to be here. Because I make no distinction between men doing spin classes and men doing pole dancing. I don't. We're all very proud of you, Adam, and the weight that you've lost. But get on your fucking bike and ride out into the wilderness like real men. Don't go to a spin class. Do you fit it in before your Oprah book club? Is that even a thing? The Oprah Book Club. Barney knows. Barney knows exactly what's going on in the animal kingdom. Barney says lions waste time trying to kill their prey. Bears just start eating. Yeah, it's just the raw power of a bear. Take a lion's head off. And here's the other problem with lions. Oh, I've studied this. I've gone down some YouTube holes about what would happen if a grizzly bear fought a lion. You better believe it. And I'm not even talking about what would kill a grizzly bear? You know what would kill a grizzly bear in a fight? A polar bear. I'm not even talking about polar bears. Polar bears are the most fucked up predators on the planet. Polar bears. Anyway, a grizzly bear. Problem with a lion and a grizzly bear is that the lion has claws, but the grizzly bear has real claws. The grizzly bear has claws for gripping. And grizzly bears, they wrestle. That's what they do. They come in and they lock their claws into you. They sink them into you. And then they wrestle you. And they basically break you in half. Now, what would happen, I understand, if a grizzly bear were to fight a lion, what would happen in this case is that the lion doesn't have enough hair. The lion would be slashed open immediately by the bear claws. Meanwhile, the lion would also try and slash at the bear and bite at the bear and stuff. But bears have like a giant winter coat of hair. That lion is going to do minimal damage in the first strikes, whereas a bear is going to do a lot of damage in the first strike. A bear is going to rip a lion right open from gut to chin. It's going to be ugly. Anyway, that's what would happen. So screw you and your Lion King nonsense. All right. What do you say we get started? That's enough stupid talk, isn't it? I think we've done enough stupid talk for today. It's time for us to actually talk about the world. Let's get into some organized stupid talk. Welcome to the show. It is the Rant. I am Pugs Moran. This is the Kelly Moore Memorial Studio in the beautiful, what's going on? Wildfire in Ocean County, New Jersey. Yeah, my alert on my scanner's been going off all morning about this. It's like outside Philadelphia. It's a big wildfire, and I'm sure it'll be fine. April 23rd is today's date. It is the 113th day of the year. There's 252 more of these remaining until the end of the day, year, whatever. I'm not thinking. I'm distracted by the wildfire. We're seeing some pretty good video. What is this? Is this the New Jersey's on fire? Their wood place is on fire. Is that what do they call that? The Deadlands something, right? That area of New Jersey, people are surprised. Like most of New Jersey is just forest. Most of New Jersey is like Wisconsin. Yeah, there's a part that's like Atlantic City and, Newark and stuff. But remember in The Sopranos where they got lost out in the middle of the woods? I think that's what's on fire. Yeah, wildfires burned through southern New Jersey. What is that called? Come on, Jersey people. Somebody's got to know what that's called, that area of New Jersey. All right, let's get rid of Barney and his cool-ass lion statement. Yes, it was a cool-ass lion statement. What do you say we do antecedently on this day? Okay, antecedently on this day. There we go. All right, here we go. These are the things that have happened on this day. We're going to talk about them. We're going to riff on them a little bit. Antecedently on this day, in the year 1516, the Munich Reichensteinbad. That's right. Try and pronounce it with me. In 1516, the Munich, Germany, Reinheitsgebot. BOT is at the end of it. Reichenstein. Here's what it is. Here's what happened on this day in 1516. I'm just going to tell you. The rules for what beer is were established in Germany. That's right. Have a beer today and say happy birthday beer because it was on this day in 1516 in Munich that they published official rules regarding the ingredients of beer, and it takes effect all over Bavaria. There you go. Happy beer day. Happy beer day. On this day in 1635, the first public school in the United States is founded, the Boston Latin School. All right. That's a school for rich kids. I don't know how they're calling it public. That's like one of the best schools in America. It's the first public school. It ain't anything like what other public schools are. Antecedently on this day in the year 1941, during World War II, the Greek government and King George II of Greece leave Athens because the Germans took it over. Yeah, Germans, they took over Greece. That was one of the places that they had. They chased the Greek royal family out of Greece into exile. Guess where they ran? England. Guess what happened? Well, the son of the aforementioned King, what was his name? King Stupid Face? King George II, who was deposed when the Nazis took over. Well, his son went to England and married Elizabeth. That's right. Prince Albert, the old guy that was Queen Elizabeth's husband for all those years. Yeah, he was actually heir to the throne of Greece, but, Nazis happened, so. I don't know. I think that's a step up, right? Like if the Nazis hadn't happened, would we still have a thriving Greek monarchy? I don't know. I think he made the good move. It may have seemed parallel at the time, giving up any claim to the throne of Greece in order to be the husband of the Queen of England. But, I think it worked out well for him. His son is now the king of the British Empire, whatever that is, in 2025. All right. Antecedently on this day in 1968, during the Vietnam War, student protesters at Columbia University in New York City take over. That's we're seeing a bunch of kids today try and do that. Here's the deal, though. Here's an interesting thing. The famous Columbia Vietnam War protests, Columbia College. It's why there's so much attention being given to these Israeli-Palestinian protests on Columbia. It's, one, close proximity to all the news people. News people just need to grab a camera and go downstairs and they can start filming. So they, proximity to the actual news event turns it into the biggest news events in the world because it's easy for them to cover. So that's another reason why Colombia is always in the crosshairs. But really, it has to do with the established tradition of civil disobedience that Colombia was once about. And I have to tell you, the people in Colombia in the Vietnam War that were on this day, here, hold on, what was this day? 1960, hold on. Sorry, I lost my place. I lost my place doing my little rant on Colombia. Okay, on this day in 1968, like all of those protesters who were demonized, and yeah, there were calls of Nixon should kick him out of the country or whatever. I don't even know if it was Nixon in 68 at this point. Wasn't it Johnson still? Whatever. Moving on. They wanted, these people hung out to dry. And they were terrible people, just like the rhetoric that we hear being used to describe the situation going on in Colombia now. Although I don't know, maybe it's because I am a middle-aged white man in this era. I tend to have a problem with people advocating for the policies of Hamas, which is what they seem to be doing. So, whereas the lens of history has allowed me to go, yeah, the Vietnam War was bullshit. But at the time, would I have believed it was bullshit? See, I have the luxury of like 50 years of documentaries in retrospect. My point is this: those people that were so demonized for being protesters in Colombia, the leaders of that movement, all of those people have been revered now for 40 years as great examples. They write books. They have, they have professor jobs at big fancy universities. Didn't work out bad for those people. So, I'm just saying, history repeats itself. We've got all kinds of nonsense going on at Columbia University again, probably, as I said, because of two things: proximity to news media and the tradition of protest on campus there. But still, who knows? These people that are, Fox News is trying to deport and all that. They might be like civics chair at Princeton University in 30 years. Life is funny. Anyway. It was on this day. The original big anti-Vietnam War protests at Columbia University took place. Oh my God, it was a crime. On this day, and there's a problem with universities, they said at the time. They still say that. I live on campus of a university. I can tell you there are no problems at SMU. I don't know. Those kids fall in line. I'll tell you that. These wealthy private school, extreme conservative SMU students, they ain't out there burning Uncle Sam in effigy. No. All right, let's keep going. Antecedently on this day in 1985, Coca-Cola changes its formula and releases New Coke. The response to New Coke is overwhelmingly negative, and the original formula is back on store shelves in less than 3 months. New Coke. Let me tell you something. There are people who I don't think are really looking at this entire situation, which was a cola war. There was a cola war in the 80s. Maybe you remember. Did you take the Pepsi challenge? There was a cola war. Coca-Cola had always been the number one soda on the planet. But Pepsi, they went and got Michael Jackson involved and beat it. All of a sudden, Pepsi was the choice of a new generation, and it was gaining on Coca-Cola. And Coca-Cola decided that in order to keep pace with Pepsi and the tastes of a new generation, they would alter their classic Coca-Cola formula into something that more resembles what Pepsi was doing, which is a sweeter product. Oh, it was terrible. Oh, it went terribly for them. Everybody made fun of Coca-Cola for months. Can you believe how bad this marketing decision is? This the greatest marketing disaster in the history of American soda pop? All of that stuff was going on. That's all a lie. New Coke, the introduction of New Coke, and then the return of Classic Coke 3 months later is the single greatest marketing play in the history of modern America. You want to know why? Because the reputation of Coke was boring. It was established. We took Coca-Cola for granted. And then all of a sudden in the early 80s, Pepsi starts with the Michael Jackson and all of that stuff. Their big Super Bowl commercials. And all of a sudden, Pepsi, for the first time in 50 years, is making inroads against Coca-Cola because people are like, oh yeah, Coke will always be there. Kind of like McDonald's, the way we treat McDonald's. In-N-Out is so great. Oh, shut up. McDonald's is better than In-N-Out. You people, you just... Anyway. Point is this. The outcry about the new Coke and how much people needed or hated the new Coke created this newfound realization that America is deeply in love with classic Coke. And 3 months later, when they reintroduced Classic Coke sold on shelves like never before. Coca-Cola firmly established themselves as the #1 soda pop in America, which before this debacle, they weren't. It was neck and neck. It was coming. Pepsi was coming. This was the greatest marketing play in history because it reminded America that they like Coca-Cola. We had taken it for granted. We were just like, yeah, whatever. There are other things that taste like it. It was genius. Don't ever let somebody tell you that that was a huge mistake, because it wasn't. It was brilliant. It reminded the American people that they actually do love Coca-Cola. You can't buy that kind of publicity. People gathering in New York City with signs, bring my Coke back. That is incredible. That was genius. 1985, that started on this day. Coca-Cola changed its formula to New Coke, but only for 3 months. And then regained the #1 spot. On this day in 2005, the very first YouTube video was, I think this was a question. Didn't I ask this question? I think I asked this question at one of our trivia nights. On this day in 2005, the very first YouTube video titled Me at the Zoo was published by YouTube co-founder Jawed Karam. Let's watch this. You want to see the very... Here it is. I'll tell you the story behind this. So there we go. Here it is. This is the very first YouTube video. And see this guy? See this guy right here? This nerdy kid at the zoo? Yeah, he's a fucking billionaire now. He's a billionaire because this is something he did at work when he was 22. They said, hey, okay, we're about to go live. We don't have any videos. Why don't you go downstairs to the zoo and just make our first video? And here it is, the first YouTube video.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. The cool thing about these guys is that they have really long trunks, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
I mean, unbelievable. That's the first video ever. My God, what would... YouTube is amazing. Happy birthday, YouTube. Let me just say happy birthday, YouTube. I have 2 TVs on in this room. Both of them are utilizing YouTube at this very moment. YouTube is amazing. I always say that if you're on a desert island and you can only have access to one platform, you know, what are you choosing? Prime? Well, they ain't delivering nothing to you. Netflix? Really? Have you ever wanted to see a movie? Like, oh, you know what? I'd like to see The Untouchables. You know, just a random movie. I'd like to see The Untouchables. Let's see if Netflix has it. Netflix never has anything. Okay, so fuck Netflix. You know what Netflix is? Netflix is good for original series. Every so often they put a series up that's really good. That's Netflix lane. Don't think. So it's out for desert islands. YouTube is, if they're like, you're on a desert island for the rest of your life, you can only have one platform. It's YouTube. Who would choose anything else? YouTube has everything, and it's constantly being updated with new stuff. You can get news, you get sports, you get everything. You stay in touch. YouTube, happy birthday. YouTube is incredible. I think it's like McDonald's. We're going to take it for granted. I don't know if we take it for granted now. I know that my kid only watches YouTube. If you took every platform away from my kid, if suddenly he didn't have access to Netflix or anything, it just took it all away. As long as he still had YouTube, he'd be fine. As long as he can sit in his room and watch other people play games, he's going to be fine. Me at the Zoo, the very first YouTube video is uploaded on this day in 2005. All right, let's get into some birthdays. Let's talk about some people who are having birthdays today. Let's see. Born on this day, birthdays. They say it's their birthday. All right, here we go. First and foremost, the great Willie Shakes, William Shakespeare. Born on this day in 1564. Now, I've told you about this because of a girl, right? Because I was dating a girl when I was a sophomore, and she was really into Shakespeare, and she was always reading Shakespeare. She was just an angsty teen girl, but still, I thought it was kind of, I was attracted to it. And I was, you know, a dude who was like, Shakespeare, that shit's lame. So I don't know. I ended up taking a Shakespeare class sophomore year of high school, and the teacher was so charismatic and so interesting. And I hook, line, and sinker. I then took Shakespeare 2. Then in college, I took Introduction to Shakespeare, and then I took, you know, Advanced Shakespeare. I love storytelling. If you love storytelling, you love Shakespeare, because absolutely every story that you've ever been enthralled by in some way, shape, or form has its origin in Shakespeare's brain. Everything is Shakespeare. Everything Shakespeare. He wrote so many plays, so many things. He was so prolific. His sonnets, and poetry, full-on plays. I mean, the guy was so prolific that we take him for granted. We don't experience. Well, I've never seen it. Yes, you have. All right, here's what we're going to do really quick. We'll run through it. And this is only the first half of our Shakespeare tribute. First half, here are my favorite Shakespeare plays. Okay, these are the best things he did, a Shakespeare draft. And I'll explain to you quickly why I like each and every one, because this is he could do everything. He could Spielberg, he could Tarantino, he could rom-com, he could Nora Ephron. This dude, Shakespeare, did everything. And this list is going to sort of show you all of the different genres that this fucker dominated. Here we go. First, my absolute favorite Shakespeare play is Merchant of Venice. Merchant of Venice is probably his most controversial play, as it doesn't like Jews very much. That's right. The evil in the Merchant of Venice is a guy named Shylock, who was a Jewish moneylender. But man, is it a great story. A story that we've seen many times since. Number 2, Midsummer Night's Dream, Shakespeare. It's my second play off the Shakespeare draft. Midsummer Night's Dream. This is sci-fi. This is Shakespeare sci-fi. This is a myth. This takes place. It's the story of the marriage of Theosis and Hippolyta, right? And it concerns like sprites and fairies and some nether. Number 2 in my Shakespeare draft, Midsummer Night's Dream. Number 3, Troilus and Cressida. I want to see a really good Troilus and Cressida movie. Troilus and Cressida is the story of Troy. It's the Battle of Troy. So here we got a big mammoth military thing. Richard III. Okay, Richard III is cool. That's Machiavellian shit, man. It's about palace intrigue, and it's about political unrest and the short reign of Richard III. That's number 4. And then number 5, my 5th pick in the Shakespeare draft. We're going Hamlet. Why not? You got to go Hamlet. I didn't want to go Hamlet number 1. I didn't think it really deserved it. Hamlet's been done so many times. If you think you've never seen Hamlet, but you've seen Sons of Anarchy, you've seen Hamlet. Sons of Anarchy is the story of Hamlet, especially the first season. All right, there you go. Happy birthday. Born on this day, the great William Shakespeare. Billy Shakes. Born on this day in 1928, Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was a child star. She was like the biggest child star in the world. And then she went on to become like not a drug addict who died in the driveway of her stepmom's house. Right? I mean, that's Shirley Temple did it right. Shirley Temple was like the greatest child star of all time. And then she didn't embarrass herself in her 20s or 30s, and she wasn't dead of a drug overdose by 40. Shirley Temple became an ambassador. Shirley Temple got into politics. Shirley Temple married well. Shirley Temple, good for her. She didn't flame out after, she grew up and people stopped casting her in movies. She was the biggest movie star in the world at one point. Shirley Temple. Born on this day in 1928. Born on this day in 1932, Jim Fixx. Jim Fixx was an American runner, an author, physical fitness advocate. The reason that jogging exists, the reason that you all know people, and me, myself, the reason that we have put on sweatpants and laced up shoes and then just gone out in our neighborhood and run around the block is because of Jim Fixx. Jim Fixx is the guy who in the 1950s popularized jogging. And it didn't even really catch on until the 70s and 80s. But that's the guy who did it. Dude, there wasn't a time in fucking Deadwood, right, back in the 1860s where a cowboy woke up and went, I'm going to go for a jog. All right, people in the 1920s during Prohibition, they weren't going, I feel good this morning. I'm going to lace up my tennis shoes and go for a jog. People did that was stupid. You'd be a lunatic if you just went and ran around for no reason. Jim Fixx changed that. Now, the absolute best part of Jim Fixx is that he died at 52 of a massive heart attack while jogging. That's right. Fucking God. God's funny sometimes. Guy, here's the guy who popularized jogging as a way to, be healthy and all of this stuff. And that guy died of a massive heart attack at 52 years old while out jogging. Jim Fixx, born on this day in 1932. Born on this day in 1936, Roy Orbison, not blind. Did you know that? I didn't. I mean, it's like, so Roy Orbison was a singer. He had a beautiful voice. Only the lonely. I can't sing like Roy Orbison. If I could, I wouldn't be streaming to you people every day. Roy Orbison, he's not blind. That's all I keep coming back to with Roy Orbison. He's not blind. I thought he was. He wore dark glasses. Whenever you saw Roy Orbison, he stood still in front of a microphone in a black suit with black wraparound glasses. Forgive me, I assumed, like any number of his peers from the 60s, that he was blind. It seemed like there was a lot of blind guys. I made no distinction between a Ronnie Millsap and a Roy Orbison in the late 1970s. They were the same guy to me. Turns out he could see. Fuck me. Fuck me. Roy Orbison wasn't blind. He just wore sunglasses. Or was he blind? I don't even know. There's something weird about it. Like, either I thought he was blind and he's not, or I didn't think he was blind. I don't know. I think he's blind. I think moving forward, to me, Roy Orbison is blind. All right. Born on this day in 1936, blind Roy Orbison. Born on this day in 1939, Lee Majors. Oh. Here's the question about Lee Majors. I love Lee Majors. Lee Majors, who was cooler? Steve Austin, astronaut, man barely alive, or Colt Seaver, the fall guy? The question is cooler. The question isn't who would win in a fight, because obviously Steve Austin, the Bionic Man, would win in a fight. But Steve Austin was kind of a dolt, wasn't he? Steve Austin was kind of like a tool for the man. Like, I don't know what kind of deep state bullshit was going on there in Bionic Man. But I don't know. He carried water. Steve Austin, Colt Seaver was awesome. Like Colt Seaver from the Fall Guy. Colt Seaver had a couple ex-wives. Colt Seaver was behind on child support. Colt Seaver maybe drank a little too much. Colt Seaver was cool. All right, I'm going Fall Guy. Happy birthday, Lee Majors. Also, here's the best thing about Lee Majors. Farrah Fawcett in her prime. That's right. He got Farrah Fawcett in her prime. He was with Farrah Fawcett when it meant something. I mean, just move on. Born on this day in 1939, Lee Majors. Born on this day in 1943, Hervé Villechaize. He's a little tattoo, the plane. Born on this day in 1960, Valerie Bertinelli. Woo! She was cute, right? Everybody liked her. Like, I didn't like older dudes a couple of years older than me. Like, if you were a couple of years older than my specific generation, you really liked Valerie Bertinelli. But to me, Valerie Bertinelli was just an older chick who was kind of cute. I'm trying to think of like what came along a couple of years later that would have done for my generation what Valerie Bertinelli did for a generation of men who are like, 60 now. So Alyssa Milano, probably. I think Alyssa Milano, who's the boss, may have been my generation's Valerie Bertinelli. Valerie Bertinelli was cute. Alyssa Milano was cute. All right. Anyway, happy birthday, Valerie Bertinelli. Born on this day in 1960. Born on this day in 1960 as well, umbilical cousins with Valerie Bertinelli, who, interestingly enough, would be married to guitar hero Eddie Van Halen. Valerie Bertinelli shares a birthday, same day, 1960, with Steve Clark. Steve Clark's dead. He's Def Leppard's former guitar player. He was a really good guitar player, and then he died, like guitar players do. Steve Clark, incorrigible addict and drunk, but man, Steve Clark could play guitar. Steve Clark, born on this day in 1960. Born on this day in 1961, George Lopez. Hey, George Lopez. He was, George Lopez is like the first, look, I am happy to say that we exist in a world in 2025 when every other TV show, every other TV commercial, every other whatever, we got a Mexican dude everywhere. We are good. We are good. And I've been advocating for the mainstreaming of the Mexican people and their culture. I've been advocating for this for about 30 years. Nobody can produce the amount of hot women the Mexicans do and the great food without being welcomed into our overall American culture. And I don't understand why we have it anyway. George Lopez, he was like the first breakthrough Mexican guy that we were like, okay, they're normal. And by that, I mean, I'm channeling someone in Iowa, like an old white woman in Iowa. He seems nice. I'm not afraid to have him on my TV. Who was the first one? Paul Rodriguez, right? Paul Rodriguez. Look, this is that old saying, right? What do they call it? Pioneers get the arrows, settlers get the land, right? All right, Paul Rodriguez was the pioneer. He was like the first one, aka Pablo. I remember when that show debuted in late 80s, early 90s. It was the first show that had like a Mexican dude as like the lead. And I remember the open conversation on shit like the Today Show was, is America ready for a Mexican man as the lead? Paul Rodriguez. And it didn't really happen for him. I guess Paul Rodriguez probably, is very famous in Mexican American communities. But outside of that, he just kind of stayed like a third tier celebrity. But then George Lopez came, and George Lopez blew the doors open. There you go. George Lopez, the Jackie Robinson of Mexican nice people on TV. There you go. They allowed him. Not my call. I've been advocating for the mainstreaming of Mexican culture in America for about 40 years. Since the first time I had a taco and saw, who did I see? Maria Conchita Alonso. Remember her? I was like, yes, Mexicans are all right. All right, let's go. No, Freddie Prinz. I see you, Kaleem. Kaleem is in the chat room. He says, what, Freddie Prinz? Freddie Prinz was not, Freddie Prinz was a white guy. Look at the Freddie Prinz Jr. Freddie Prinz Jr. Freddie Prinz, yeah, I know he did the Chico thing, but when Freddie Prinz went on TV and I don't know what I'm doing here. Freddie Prinz was, okay, the exception that proves the rule. You win, Kareem. Kaleem wins. He's right. Freddie Prinz was first. Now that I think about it, I'm like, nah, he was like a white guy. Because when I think of Freddie Prinz Jr., I don't really think of like a Puerto Rican guy. But when I think of Freddie Prinz, I do think of like a wasn't he Puerto Rican? I mean, back then, let's be honest, white people didn't make a distinction. Puerto Rican, Mexican, it didn't matter. They were all the same. They weren't white. They were not white guys. I guess I'll accept Freddie Prinz. All right, moving on. See, this is a stream of consciousness. Sometimes I say shit that isn't true, and I have to think it through in my heart. Born on this day in 1977. Born on this day in 1977. This is like the one celebrity. I've met a lot of celebrities. I've been doing this since 1992, right? In Chicago and Dallas. I had a lot of interviews with a lot of people. If I were to make my list of the most impressive celebrities that I have ever met, this person wouldn't even make the top 20. Yet for some reason, my son thinks I'm a fucking baller because I once sat down and hung out with John Cena. John Cena is celebrating a birthday today. There's a picture out there of me and John Cena. And I showed it to my son, and he's like, did you Photoshop this? I'm like, no, you dick. We did Photoshop. We broadcast live from a WrestleMania. You did? Yeah, like, why didn't you tell me this? Because I didn't think it was a big deal. It's a huge deal. I'm like, all right. Whatever. It's another example of something I was involved in that I didn't know was a big deal. Anyway, happy birthday. Born on this day, 1977. He won WrestleMania on Sunday night. John Cena over Cody Rhodes. Antecedently on this day, also born in 1977, umbilical cousins, if you will, born on the same day, the same year, British comedian John Oliver. I'm about good with John Oliver. I got to be honest with you. I used to think John Oliver was really funny. I used to love John Oliver. I'm just a little bit full up on John Oliver. I can't do all of the endless political crap from these people, from the right and the left. I hate it. It's not funny. All right. Happy birthday, John Oliver. Get back to being funny, Oliver. Get back to being interesting and funny. All right. Let's do the deads. All right, here we go. These are people who have died on this day, people who have died. This is quarter 3. Dead people, where do they go? Heaven or hell, based on what they did here on earth. Heaven or hell. All right, dead on this day in 1616. You knew it was coming. William Shakespeare. He's going to heaven. He's going to heaven. I know he was a playwright, theatrical, and probably did some things, but we don't know anything about it. All I know is that this man created the template for storytelling for the next 500 years. So, William Shakespeare, dead on this day in 1616. Born in 1564. How old was he? So 30, 46. 46 plus 4. What? I don't know. I can't do math like that. I got screwed up. He was too young. He was too young for a guy that produced like 1 million fucking plays. All right. So on Shakespeare's birthday, I just gave you a Shakespeare draft of my favorite Shakespeare plays. Okay. But now I want to give you a list. This is not a draft or anything, but it's a list of things that you've all seen that are Shakespeare, surprisingly. Now, there's a shit ton of these, so I just picked out some that I thought were interesting, okay? Things that are actually Shakespeare that you don't know was Shakespeare. How about this? How about the 1999 movie with Heath Ledger and Julia Stiles, 10 Things I Hate About You? 10 Things I Hate About You. That's Taming of the Shrew. That is Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, just set in a modern high school, right? Something like that? Yeah, there it is. All right. Things that Shakespeare has done that you've seen, even though you think you haven't really seen any Shakespeare. How about this one? How about 2006? I always, whenever there's a story about Amanda Bynes shitting the bed or doing something terrible, I always bring this up. 2006, She's the Man. She's the Man is a great movie. Well, a great movie. It is a really good movie. It is a fun, interesting movie. Amanda Bynes in She's the Man gives a comedic performance that is just tremendous, which is why it's so sad when you see like what a mistake she is. She made some bad choices and all that stuff. Anyway, She's the Man is the 12th night. It's the story of the 12th night. It's another Shakespeare story that's been updated. And the kids ate it up, not even knowing. All right, here's one for us Gen Xers. Here's one that I've always known, and maybe you knew somewhere in the back of your head, but it is a fun piece of trivia. 1987's Doug and Bob McKenzie's Strange Brew. Remember Strange Brew? You guys, that's Hamlet, okay? I'm sorry, but yeah, Strange Brew, the story, the Doug and Bob, that's Hamlet, okay? Look no further than the name of the beer, dude. The name of the beer, the brewery that they are defending is Elsinore Beer. You know, like Elsinore Castle, where Hamlet lived. Strange Brew is based on Hamlet. And a couple of obvious ones. The Lion King is also Hamlet. The Lion King, generations love The Lion King. Do you know? That's the story of Hamlet done as animation, okay? West Side Story is Romeo and Juliet from 1961. If you've seen West Side Story, you've seen Romeo and Juliet. All they did was take it out of Shakespearean times and update it into a modern setting. And the last one is my favorite. And I saved this for last because this is a really foundational movie in my son and my past. This came out when he was just very little. He was probably 4 years old, 5 years old. We used to watch this on repeat. Romeo and Juliet. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the animated film Romeo and Juliet. It is obviously the story of Romeo and Juliet as told from the perspective of two families of garden gnomes that live next door to each other. One house, the Capulets. Get it? It's all Shakespeare stuff. The Capulets have their Romeo and Juliet. It's great. Anyway, there you have it. Shakespeare went to heaven. I'm telling you. Dead on this day in 1616. Dead on this day in 1991. Let's jump ahead a few years because nobody of note really passed away. 1991, Johnny Thunders, American singer-songwriter. He's a member of the New York Dolls. He's a punk icon. Johnny Thunders is going to hell. Let's not kid ourselves. He's a punk icon. He's probably going to hell. All right. Dead on this day in 1995, American lawyer and journalist. How about Howard Cosell? He's also going to hell. Howard Cosell. Are you kidding me? Howard Cosell. People hated Howard Cosell. He was an asshole. Howard Cosell probably went to hell. Dead on this day in 1998, American assassin, the guy who killed Martin Luther King. Yeah, he's going to hell. James Earl Ray. James Earl Ray is going to hell. Get in line behind Cosell and Johnny Thunders. Although Johnny Thunders is starting to look pretty good. Pretty good, but we might have to move Johnny Thunder. Johnny, go stand along the wall. I haven't made my decision yet. We'll find out who else we got here. Dead on this day in 2007, Boris Yeltsin. Oh, Jesus, that drunk-ass politician. Yes, he was a nice little puppet for us, but he was terrible. His people overthrew him. They wanted to drag him through the streets. He was drunk the entire time. Boris Yeltsin goes to hell. All right, there you have it. Those are the people who've died on this day. Oh, Johnny, against the wall. Yeah, the line is moving quicker than I expected. You're going to hell. Johnny, get back in line. Sorry, I didn't mean any false hope there. All right. Shakespeare goes to heaven. Johnny Thunders goes to hell. Howard Cosell goes to hell. James Earl Ray goes to hell. And Boris Yeltsin goes to hell. All right. Fun. Hey, guys, little fun fact. Did you know you can support this show anytime? It runs on your gratuities, your tips. Help support this kind of talk radio every day going into our 4th year now. We deliver you a style of talk radio that I don't think you're getting anywhere else. And programmers in radio would tell you, yeah, you're doing a bad style of it. And I'd be like, fuck you, you people and your rules. I'm a talent, goddammit. So where does Nomeo, hold on, what is going, am I behind? Chat room? Adam is like, where does Nomeo and Juliet, hold on. What is he saying? All right, let's do a little cleanup. All right, Al. All right, Al's right. Freddie Prinze was definitely the first Latino. All right, there you go. Let's see here. Adam says, I recently saw Juliet at Broadway, Dallas. It was amazing. It's fucking between spin classes, Adam. Keep that to yourself. I'm teasing. You keep walking into these things. Let's see here. Oh, I get it. Oh, he's being silly. He's like, where does Nomeo and Juliet come from? Oh, that's funny. I love Nomeo and Juliet. It was a cross promotion, or not a cross promotion, a cross production with Bernie Taupin and Elton John. So all the music in Nomeo and Juliet are all classic Elton John hits. It's all like cool ass Elton John music. I think that's why me and my kid liked it when he was little. He used to dance to Crocodile Rock. All the little gnomes doing their little Crocodile Rock. It was cool. It was very well done. All right, let's get into all the things that are happening today. Let's see. Where are we going to start? Let's see. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah. Stock market is up 456 points. Stock market is raging into the green. All right, we're not going to cover the stock market. 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row, it was up. Monday, it was bad. Monday, it was down like 1,000. Yesterday, I think it closed. I don't know what it is. Anyway, whatever. Stock market. It's only a story if it continues to go down. Let's be honest. If it just, the chaos is not even that sustainable of a story because we just become accustomed to the chaos and it becomes normalized. So, but if it just continues to go down, that's the only story. And it's not. For 2 days now, the stock market has been rounding. I guess this is what? Okay, so what are the reasons? One, it's being reported that Trump's not going to fire Powell, Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, which has sustained some confidence, I guess, in some investors. They're saying that China's dragging our president. Just so we know, China's like how many 50 billion people there? No, come on, I know there's like a billion people there. Is there more than that? I don't know. How many people are on the planet? 4 billion, 5 billion? How many are in China? Quite a few. Point is this. Trump chickened out is like the big hashtag that's going all over China. They're all laughing at us. They're saying that Trump backed off the tariffs and, he crumbled and whatever. We got some news for you, China. I don't know what our news for China is. But I don't know. What did he do? Did the president make some changes? Because whatever, we're in the green 2 days in a row, and that's good. That's better than being in the red 2 days in a row. Breaking news. Hold on, we got breaking news. Markets rise as Trump tempers language on tariffs. There you go. That's the top of the hour, 3:00 breaking news. Markets rise as Trump tempers language on tariffs. Okay, so that's all good. That's all good. What's Adam saying here? Adam's like, you are improving your misconceptions of things being for men and women wrong. I'm okay to steer into the curve, spin class, yoga, Broadway. I love it all. And that is good. I'm saying I'm proud of you, man. I am. Most most guys wouldn't be that comfortable, with that level of, good for you, man. Say it loud, say it proud, Adam. Hey, man, I like a lot of chick shit. I got to be honest with you. I like a lot of chick shit. What do I like that's chick shit? I don't know. Maybe I don't like a lot of chick shit. I think I like some chick shit. My son's always like, that's like girl stuff. I'm like, trying to think of what it is. What is it that I like chick stuff? I don't like wine. I don't like that. I don't like yoga or spin or anything like that. Anyway, never mind. Let's not get bogged down. I just know that I'm also very much in touch with my feminine side, and I'm proud of it. But I will be doing like 2 hours of NFL draft talk tonight on a live stream, so that'll be fun. Probably not be much of my feminine side coming out tonight on the stream. Like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. All right, Pope funeral. How about that? Let's talk about the Pope funeral. The Pope, is Trump going? Where's our president going? Trump's very impressed with the Pope. He said the right stuff. A whole bunch of other people said some really shitty stuff. I'm like, what are you, shut your fucking mouth. What are you trying to get clicks by saying the Pope sucked? Fuck you. The man is dead. He meant a lot to a lot of people, not me. But how about having a little class? How about a little decorum? That's really my biggest problem with, I think, this era. We have completely abandoned all sense of decorum. We're just like, whatever is going to get clickbait, right? Whatever is going to get forwarded. Oh, did you hear? This person said that person sucks. I'm so fucking sick of it. I think Trump said nice things about the Pope, right? I think the Pope met him, and Trump was like, just don't fucking shit on the guy like 24 hours after he's dead. It's so unclassy. You're just revealing yourself to be a fucking piece of shit. And that's the other problem. People don't seem to care that they're outed as pieces of shit anymore. Pieces of shit used to hide in the shadows because civilized, regular society didn't tolerate people with shitty fucking hot takes. Now it's everywhere. Now everybody and their shitty hot takes are normalized. I liked it when people like me, who were well paid on the radio to have shitty hot takes. I liked it when we were the only people. Anyway, Pope's going to have a funeral. It's going to be big. And it'll happen this weekend. There you go. He's lying in state. Isn't that weird? Like, the news can't show a dead body. Well, they can, but they choose not to because of decorum, what I was just talking about, right? So, like, they sort of self-police themselves with showing dead bodies. Like, if there's like a terrible situation and they're on the scene and they're collecting raw footage, typically any sort of carnage or dead bodies will not make the broadcast, the national broadcast. How come they don't have a problem with that when it's the Pope laying in a box? All morning long, I'm looking at like this static shot of like a dead guy in a box. And I'm like, context? Is that what this is? Is it just the context of a dead body laying in the street? It's the street that's wrong. This is more on display. I don't know. I don't like looking at dead bodies. I don't like funerals. I don't like wakes. Man, I'm going to be burned up. As soon as I'm dead, just put me in the oven. Fry me up, turn me into ashes, and then have a fucking party. All right. Let's see here. Elon Musk. What is he leaving Doge? He's looking for an exit. He's trying to get out of there because apparently his Tesla stock is down 70%, and all the people invested in Tesla are like, you need to get the fuck out of the government, and you need to start taking care of your company. They're saying that Musk is readying plans to exit his role within Doge in order to pay more attention to. Here's what it says. Tesla CEO Musk says time he spends on Doge will drop significantly over the next few weeks. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said Tuesday on his company's earnings call that he'll spend much less time in Doge starting in May. Tesla stock price has plunged more than 40% this year. I just said 70 because that's the headline. Headline says 70. Now they're saying 40. I don't know who to believe. The company on Tuesday reported an earnings and sales miss and said auto revenue dropped 20% in the quarter from a year earlier. I don't know what that means. All right, whatever. I don't even give a shit about Tesla. I don't care about Tesla. There are plenty of other electric car companies. Tesla could go fucking kick rocks. I don't care. I need him focused on getting that Falcon Heavy rocket to a point where we can get it off the launch pad 10 out of 10 times. Focus on that, man. Anyway, Elon Musk, rumors are he's going to be leaving. He's going to be heading out of Dodge. Let's see, a judge yesterday. Remember when Sarah Palin sued the New York Times and everybody was like, oh, they're going to take her down. She sued the New York Times and it was supposed to be a landmark case and all that shit. Yeah, the judge sided with the New York Times saying that they didn't libel the former Alaska governor, Sarah Palin. A jury found this. So it was a jury of her peers. So it's not a crooked judge, not an activist judge. It's a jury of people. Of course, they were all dirty New Yorkers. So she testified that death threats against her increased after an editorial said her PAC had contributed to political rhetoric that enabled an atmosphere of violence. So do you remember she had a political action committee thing that she sent out that had the names of Democratic candidates, and then there was like a sniper sight like around them. Okay, bad vibes, right? But certainly not actual attempted murder, but bad vibes, bad form, whatever. So the New York Times wrote an article about that and talked about how it's that kind of rhetoric that contributes to political violence. Sarah Palin's team read that and said, we're suing them. They're saying that and a jury said, fuck you, go back to Alaska, you poorly aging former hot chick who only elevated to her position because she was so damn fuckable at one point. That's it. John McCain chooses her if she's 40 pounds overweight and doesn't look like, a porn star. She did. She looked like a porn star playing a librarian. It's the whole reason that she was given the big stage in politics. Sarah Palin. And you know this because she didn't elevate past that. Once that was all she had, it wasn't like she was this great political mind. It wasn't like she was this great statesman. She wasn't. She's just a fool. Small town Wasilla, Alaska mayor who somehow we elevated to this position of importance. We did the same thing. The left did the same thing with that Ocasio-Cortez. I used to say about Ocasio-Cortez, why are you giving her all of this attention? She is a junior representative from New York City, from a borough that is just so completely insignificant in the great scheme of things. She sits on no committees. She chairs not an important or powerful member of the current caucus. I used to say that all the time about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That's changed. She is now she is no longer a junior. You people have made her, and by that I say mainly MAGA, by talking about this chick, the former bartender who's a congresswoman from New York, right? She's a congresswoman for a bunch of hipsters with cool mustaches. That's who she is. You people wouldn't stop talking about her for years and years. It's like, for some reason, you determined that she was a threat when she had no power. And guess what? You've turned her into a fundraising machine with a war chest that is as good as anybody in politics. You've made Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez a force. And I'm over here in the middle going, why is that 25-year-old bartender chick suddenly carrying the flag for liberty? You people did this. Now, it might be a long play. It might be smart. You build them up because you think they're easy to beat in a general. Maybe that's it. Maybe you want her to be the person carrying the flag for the opposition party. Maybe that's it because you think you can beat her because she's crazy and young and all that. I don't know, man. Be careful. You made Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez powerful in a way that, Sarah Palin wasn't made powerful. And again, the analogy that I'm making here is that it's two women who broke onto the scene and they were promoted because of their looks, because of the way they looked. That's all. All right. Stream of consciousness. I'm just riffing. What's Frank saying? Frank says, wait till you hear about Jasmine Crockett, Congressman of Dallas. What do you mean wait till I hear about her? I know all about her. She's fucking awesome. I love that chick. That chick's hysterical. I don't know anything about her politics, but I love that she's a shit talker. I love her crazy nails. I love that she's I love her. You can't tell me about Jasmine Crockett. That chick's fun. Isn't she the one that called Abbott Governor Hot Wheels? Totally approve of that. That's fun. Although I don't know about her politics. Is she like super crazy lib? I don't know. Whatever. All I know is that I like that she shit talks. Wait till you hear about Jasmine. What do you mean, wait till I hear about her? I'm involved. I know who she is, Frank. What's your point? Frank, you don't like her because she's black? Is that what it is? Frank doesn't like her because she's black. Frank, there's not a single black politician that Frank likes that isn't named Byron Donald or whatever. Frank, you're just very predictable. I know every political opinion that Frank has. It's predictable. It's very predictable. It's very, very far right. All right, let's keep going. Hates liberals. Hates them. Hates liberals. Frank's been like that for 20 years. And Frank is one of the most decent, nice, charming, friendly people. He's unassuming. He's not a loudmouth. Hates liberals. Fucking will put them all in a furnace and throw the match in if he could. You'd never know that from meeting him. All right, let's keep going. The FDA, big ban on our food. They're getting rid of food dyes. This is RFK shit. RFK's like, yeah, we got to get rid of all, I think, petroleum-based food dyes and stuff like that. I mean, it's probably a good idea, right? It's probably a good idea, but to what extent? Like, food's going to be ugly now. That's the only reason that we use food dye is because it makes food look the color that we think it should, so that we'll eat it, right? But now we're going to have gray meat. Enjoy your gray meat, because that's what that fucking shit looks like when left to its own devices. All right, let's get into this. What did the FDA do? They banned, FDA has announced that they will phase out dyes used in, oh, this ain't bad. All right, so here's a couple of the brands that maybe that you're familiar with that are going to start looking really ugly. They're not going to look as pretty as they do now. This first one's going to affect my kid. My 15-year-old, I think this is his favorite snack food. Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Flamin' Hot Cheetos. You've seen them, right? Flamin' Hot Cheetos are like fire engine red. And when you get that shit all over your hand, I know because my kid likes them. You get that shit. You can't take one handful of Flamin' Hot Cheetos without, like, having like red crap all over your hand. So I don't know what that is. It makes it look cool. It makes it look like a bag of flaming. It looks cool. All right, Flamin' Hot Cheetos. They're gonna be ugly from now on. Skittles. Skittles are gonna be ugly. Skittles are just gonna be gray and black. Yep, that's right. Enjoy your gray and black Skittles, because the food dye that they use to color Skittles is going away. Let's see, we got a couple other ones here. Food and Drug Administration is phasing out the use of artificial dyes by the end of next year. The policy will hit food and drink companies like PepsiCo, General Mills, and Kellogg. The so-called Make America Healthy Again platform argues a corrupt alliance of drug and food companies and the federal health agencies that regulate them are making America less healthy. I don't even know what any of that fucking means. We have like weird QAnon adjacent kind of thoughts and thought processes, like now in the government. The fluorescent red flaming hot Cheetos. The brilliant teal of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Oh my God. Those are like two staples of my 15-year-old's diet. Flaming hot Cheetos and Mountain Dew Baja Blast. By the way, do adults know about Mountain Dew Baja Blast? Because it's, it's a kid thing. It's like something that only the kids drink. And I think you can only get it at Taco Bell, right? Then Taco Bell, the only place that has the secret Mountain Dew Baja Blast in the fountain. I think that's like an exclusive. So my kid gets it all the time, and it just looks like some kind of garbage, super sugary kids drink. So I never really paid attention to it until, I actually tasted it one time. Mountain Dew Baja Blast from Taco Bell out of the fountain is the way to go, yo. Do you like ocean waters from Sonic? Sonic's ocean water? Those are great. Mountain Dew Baja Blast from Taco Bell is better. Same kind of thing. It's better. All right. So anyway, that's now going to look gray. That's now going to look like pond water. Here, have some Mountain Dew pond water. What else are they going to do to our food? Give me some other brand names. The changes will affect a slew of food giants, including Pepsi, General Mills, Kellogg, blah, 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 Nabisco. As of Tuesday, the FDA and the food industry do not have a formal agreement to remove artificial dyes, but instead, they've come to an understanding. All right, whatever. Anyway, our food's going to be ugly. Our food's not going to be pretty and fake looking anymore. It's going to be ugly. So enjoy that. I'll be fine. Look, as long as it tastes good. I eat a lot of ugly shit. I'll eat shit that's ugly as long as it tastes good. I made some Chicago style hot dogs the other day over the weekend, and they looked beautiful. Like the way I built them, I built them perfectly and everything. And, you had your natural casing beef hot dogs. You had your yellow mustard. You had your diced onion. You had your sport peppers, your pickle. You then had your sliced tomatoes. Then you drenched it a la Junior's hot dogs, south side of Chicago. Then you drench it in like this Velveeta cheese thing, and it looked beautiful. It photographed beautifully. But unfortunately, you take one bite of that, and all of a sudden you've got like a hot dog mitt. Like it's just all, and you're just like, it's fallen and it's ugly. Guess what? It was still delicious. I will eat ugly food. I will eat ugly food. It was a mess. It was all over my hands, in my beard. Oh my God, the cheese was all over my beard. It was a nightmare. It was a delicious nightmare, but a nightmare nonetheless. All right. The FDA. Okay, so here we go. So let's do the Shannon Sharpe story here, okay? So let's get it. This is going to be a big thing that we're going to talk. We're going to spend quite a bit of time on. The Shannon Sharpe story from yesterday, where he is being sued by some girl that she's accusing him of rape. We talked about it yesterday. There is a whole bunch of new details that he's talking. Tony Busby, the attorney for the victim, he's releasing audio now of phone conversations between his aggrieved client and Shannon Sharpe. She recorded them. Yeah, that's how she was. All right, it's one of those people that will record you. So anyway, and also some text messages. We got to see some text messages, man. And I got to tell you, I don't know how Shannon Sharpe, just because of the way ESPN is, I don't know how Shannon Sharpe survives this. Here's what I imagine is going to happen. I think that Shannon Sharpe will probably be fired. I mean, he could probably be fired for cause, just simply because of some of the things coming out of his own mouth. And we're going to listen to these things and some of the things that he said in text. I think that is cause to get out of whatever this huge contract they have. They just signed a big contract with Shannon Sharpe. It'll be enough to get out for cause. Now, what happens to Shannon Sharpe? Absolutely nothing. He loses this deal. A couple of months go by. He ends up over on Fox Sports at the same contract. Absolutely nothing, because we lose interest and we move on. This is a civil case. He is being accused in civil court of rape. Police aren't involved. They didn't take this to the authorities because, rapists need to be called to account for their actions. Rapists need to be in jail, right? Isn't that what? No, that's not what's happening here. There is a demand for $50 million. And I want to talk about this, and I want to spend a significant amount of time on this. However, I got to take a piss. I got to go to the bathroom. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to get into the whole Shannon Sharpe thing. I want the chat room involved here, okay? I want to hear your guys' takes. I want to interact with you on this Shannon Sharpe story. Again, Shannon Sharpe is being accused of raping his 20-something-year-old mistress, a girl he picked up at the gym. His opening line to her was, "I'll buy you breast implants." So, we're dealing with these people. These are the folks we're dealing with. And she ended up having a multi-year affair with him, and she's now saying that he raped her twice, multiple times. And again, we're going to get all into that. We're going to listen to audio tape. We're going to listen to some statements from Shannon Sharpe himself, and we'll look at the text messages. All right, but I got to go to the bathroom. So let me do that. We're going to take a quick break. I will be right back. Give me probably, give me 3 minutes. It's not going to take me long to just run down there, okay? All right. Hold on, where is it? There it is. That's what we like. We like to be right back, and I shall. I promise. Be right back. All right, here we go. Good deal. All right. Get rid of the be right back. We gotta figure out how to do that. Join us tonight. We're going to be doing Shock House Dallas. It's our new show. Like, follow, subscribe. About 6:30, something like that. We'll get into it. We're going to be talking about the draft. We're going to be talking about this story here. I think we'll probably also make mention of and get more of a group attitude about the Shannon Sharpe story. Shannon Sharpe, of course, a legendary NFL tight end. The Sharpe brothers, man, Sterling Sharpe, Shannon Sharpe, both great. In the 90s, right? When did Shannon Sharpe play? We took a 90s into the 2000s. I am not entirely sure. Anyway, Shannon Sharpe has gone on to become a bit of a analyst. He's famous. He's in the sports. He's in the football universe as somebody who is now more than just a guy who's going to break down the results from Sunday's games. Okay. He has crossed over into this sort of world of podcaster, interviewer, where it's not just about sports. It's about all kinds of things. So this is who Shannon Sharpe is. He has recently, within the last couple of years, crossed over into a much bigger stage, into a much bigger spotlight, simply because he is not just a guy, with Skip Bayless talking about whether or not LeBron is, trying or not. So that's what he used to be. So this has been a really, really good, let's say 12 months for Shannon Sharpe, as he has truly emerged as one of the most quotable podcast hosts out there. I mean, it was Shannon Sharpe and his Club Shay Shay that gave us the whole Cat Williams thing. Remember that? And then what else there was another, Terrence Howard. He makes news. He is an important influencer in this new digital world. Do not get it twisted. Do not think that he is just some sports guy. He's not. He's sort of transcended that and become a much bigger thing. So Shannon Sharpe has been accused of, what is going on with my TV back there? Jesus. Oh God. Come on. 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Make me wait 20 seconds for this nonsense. Ugh. That's 11:06. All right, here's what we're going to do. We'll just pull it up. I don't need my eagle. My eagle isn't that important. Let me give you the details here. I will give you the story as reported by who else would know the true details of this story? The great TMZ, okay? Here's the story as it appears in TMZ. Shannon Sharpe says here, Shannon Sharpe offered rape accuser $10 million to settle the case. Okay, that's a piece of new news. Shannon Sharpe's attorney just revealed that the Pro Football Hall of Famer made an offer to his rape accuser of at least $10 million to close out the case before it went public. Okay. So this is interesting because now we know that Shannon Sharpe has been in some sort of a negotiation with this young lady, and Tony Busby, her parasite attorney. They've been in negotiation for months, and it's gotten to the point where she's been offered $10 million to drop this case. Now she's asking for 50 and claiming that he raped her. He offered her 10 and Busby said no, because apparently they feel that the digital evidence that Tony Busby and the accuser have, which is audio recordings that we will hear here in a few minutes, these audio recordings are enough to make him want to give $50 million. And I yesterday said, Shannon Sharpe ain't got no $50 million. He might. Now that I mean, I don't know what kind of deal he's got with his Club Shay Shay platform, but I do know that those kinds of podcasts are routinely selling to larger podcast platforms for what? 80 million, 100 million, right? Joe Rogan's 200 million. Call Her Daddy just went for 180 million. So maybe Club Shay Shay is, maybe on paper he is worth 50. I didn't think he was, but okay. Lanny Davis is Shannon Sharpe's attorney. This is Tony Busby against Lanny Davis. Tony Busby is kind of he's a piece of shit. He looks like a piece of shit. When you see him, you're like, that's a piece of shit attorney. Lanny Davis is just the opposite. Lanny Davis looks like fucking Matlock. Lanny Davis wears a cheap suit. Not a cheap suit. Shouldn't say that. Lanny Davis wears a Midwestern lawyer suit. You know, he didn't got the pinstripes and all that. Lanny Davis, I think Lanny Davis was Hillary Clinton's attorney. Lanny Davis is Mr. Oh, shucks, goody two shoes. I'm just a Ron Howard type attorney. Meanwhile, Tony Busby is the direct opposite of that. Tony Busby is the worst. Lanny Davis is probably the worst too. They're both lawyers. Let's not kid ourselves. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but what I'm saying is character types clashing. These are two completely different types of lawyers who are both extremely well-paid, high-end attorneys who are going to be playing this thing out. Lanny Davis, who's representing Sharp in the ESPN personalities civil sexual assault case against Jane Doe, Lanny Davis said in a meeting with reporters on Tuesday that the proposal to pay her $10 million was doled out during mediations with her within the last month or so. Davis said Jane Doe initially seemed to be considering the $10 million settlement before she suddenly, without warning, walked away from our offer. This is now, again, according to Lanny Davis, Shannon Sharp's attorney. I don't understand why Lanny Davis feels it's important to get out there that they offered to pay her $10 million. Doesn't that seem bad? Doesn't that seem like they are like what you would want if you're a believer in Shannon Sharp that this is all a shakedown? What you would want from them to be like, we're giving you a dime. This is all a fucking lie. We will see you in court, right? But no, they offered $10 million probably because they were treated to hearing the audio tape and they went, well, that's worth $10 million because if that gets out, Shannon Sharp won't get, Lipton iced tea commercials or whatever the fuck, Shannon Sharp is a bankable personality for advertisements and endorsements. He could make a lot of money over the next few years. And so they're probably looking at it like, yeah, that might be worth giving her $10 million just to make sure that those tapes don't get released. But they said no, and the tapes got released. I think what Lanny Davis is trying to do, again, he's Sharp's attorney. I think what he's trying to do by making public the release of the $10 million is I think he's trying to show that she's only interested in the largest amount of cash she can get. But again, at the same time, I think that hurts their case of, him being totally innocent here. He's okay. So he's totally innocent, but you're willing to give up $10 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Doe, because her name isn't public here, at least not in the regular press. There are a bunch of names that are going around, but that's on, online. Those are just people going, I know her. Her name is Crystal this, whatever. But we're still calling her Doe for whatever reason, because I don't know what her real name is. Doe, through her famed lawyer, Tony Busby, filed a lawsuit on Sunday in Nevada. She claimed in it that she met ex-Denver Bronco at the gym in Los Angeles in 2023 when she was 20 years old. She said she began a consensual relationship with him, though she described it as controlling and verbally abusive. Let's talk about that sentence. She began a consensual relationship with him, even though he was controlling and verbally abusive. Because she admits it was a consensual relationship, and she knew full well that he was controlling and abusive, I can't put that on him. Okay, just from the very get-go. Why did you consent to a relationship that is both controlling and verbally abusive? Can we just do common sense? She's a victim. All right. He's a dick. She should have said, you're a fucking jerk who shouldn't treat women that way and lose my number, fucking loser. She should have done that. But she didn't because, you see, she's looking at this transactionally. He's a wealthy older sugar daddy. He's somebody that could pay her rent, get her a nice car. He's probably got a nice place that she might be able to sleep over. She is thinking transactionally in the early stages of this relationship, and she is willing to accept that he's a piece of shit, that he's a controlling and abusive boyfriend. Why? Because he's famous, got money, and just her association with him in this little personal universe of the gym that she's created is good for her. Because now she's Shannon Sharp's squeeze. It's big for her. It's big for her. She's 20. She made some concessions because of who he was. And it seems from the very beginning, she knew that he was controlling and abusive, verbally abusive. According to her suit in late 2024, after she tried to break things off with him, he raped her. Okay, so in 2024, she tried to break things. Shannon, I want to break up with you. And his response was to rape her. That's how it reads, right? I mean, I'm sure that there's more context that we need here. You know, she's like, I was trying to break up with them, but then, we went out to dinner and I told him I didn't want to, and then he raped me. Sorry. So she says, according to her suit in late 2024, she tried to break things off with him, but he raped her. She then said that he again raped her in January 2025. I don't understand. Again, I'll go back to what I said yesterday. If he raped her in 2024, if she was just trying to break up with him and then got raped by him, why didn't she go to the police? This is a criminal who could rape any number of other innocent women out there. Do your duty. Get this fucking criminal off the street. But she didn't do that. She didn't do that. And in fact, she still stayed in a relationship with him to the point where a good 6 months later, she claims that he raped her again. Now, I have no doubt that he is a piece of shit boyfriend. He is a professional athlete who is worth a shit ton of money. Let me tell you about these guys. I've known a few of these guys. These guys, from the time that they are 17 years old, know how to play the game. From the time that they are a highly recruited high school football player, they know that every older man holds the keys to their future. So it's always going to be, well, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I just go out there and give 110%. They are practiced at being bullshit artists. All of them. A guy like Shannon Sharpe, he's a goddamn Hall of Famer. This dude, every room that he has walked into for the last 40-something years of his life, he has been applauded, and people have been like, that's Shannon Sharpe, that's Shannon Sharpe. That creates a delusion in an otherwise normal person, so that when they are not being lauded for being a celebrity and an athlete and all of these things, they don't know how to handle it. They don't know how to handle it in their regular house when suddenly they got somebody talking back to them. And they're assholes. All of them. Shannon Sharpe is very practiced. He's very good. We've seen him in heated discussions and arguments over the years with Skip Bayless or any number of people, and he always maintains his calm and his composure, and he always comes off as kind of a nice guy who's trying to just... Well, we've got some audio tape of him talking to his girlfriend on the phone, and he is not that Shannon Sharpe. He is not that guy. He's not the guy from Club Shay Shay having this delicate conversation about, whatever the fuck it was Cat Williams was going into. He's not this guy early in the morning trying to, talk down an incredibly over-the-top and hyperbolic Woody. What's that dude's name? Skip Bayless, right? No, he's been acting his whole life. He's been the jovial, big, gentle giant. Let me tell you, I'll tell you, he's been that guy, well practiced for 40 years. And when you get in the real world with these people, you find out that they're fucking selfish assholes, and that everything is on their schedule and it's everything that they want. Seriously, you think Troy Aikman's a great guy? Be it 3 forks on one night while you get a table ahead of him. See what a dick Troy Aikman becomes. Excuse me, I'm a quarterback. Now that's not a fair. I'm just saying in general. I don't know that to be true about Troy. Troy might actually be a good guy. I do know that Roger Staubach is a good guy, but Roger Staubach was a superstar in a different era, so he's a little different. My point is this: we poison these people with our adulation, with our glory, with their, oh, come on, champ. Hey, whatever, champ. All that fucking jock sniffing bullshit that we do to these people. We turn them into monsters in their private lives. So let's not be shocked when we listen to this audio tape from Sterling Sharpe. We know what he is. What you think Sterling Sharpe, 60-year-old man dating a 20-year-old girl, what you think he's a gentle boyfriend? You think he's a loving, compassionate? Fuck you. Don't be dumb. Well, I like Club Shay Shay and he comes off nice. He's a dick. They're all dicks. They're all entitled. They're all fucking... Football players are the worst, man. Anyway, okay, so let's continue on here. So that's him, all right? any illusion that you think that he was a good guy and that he's incapable of speaking to his girlfriend in this way, which, by the way, is fucking barbaric. The way he talks to his girlfriend is fucking barbaric. But I'm just here for the second day in a row to point out that she stayed there for it all. He didn't meet her in the lobby of a hotel, take her up to his room and rape her, and now she's got to. No, she was in a transactional relationship with him for a period of time. And when he was done with her, because she's the disposable dime a dozen hot girl, you can go get another one. He's Shannon Sharp. You don't think this guy can drop into any Hooters restaurant in America and walk out with the hottest waitress in the place? He can. That's like a magic power that celebrity wealthy men have. So he was done with her. And this is what happens now when these men who engage in these bad behaviors, and make no mistake, these are bad behaviors. This is what happens now. They get called rapists, although not actual criminal rapists, civil rapists, which is a whole new thing. All right, let's listen to some of this stuff. Okay, here. This is let's see. First, okay, let's start it here. Here is well-practiced, nice guy, Shannon Sharp. Okay. Wait, where is it? All right, here he is. Here is Shannon Sharp speaking yesterday, letting us know that these audio tapes would be released. Okay, so this is from yesterday. He gave us a heads up. He said, hey, in the next couple of hours, I've been told that there's going to be some audio tape that's been released, and it's not going to sound good, but here's my side of it. So this is Shannon Sharp from yesterday. And oh boy, did the audio tape drop.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown. I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated by Tony Busby, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Busby targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys.
All right. Well, thank you there, Shannon. He checked all the boxes with that. He is, he's desperate. He's scared. He checked all the boxes. He went race. He went, this is a thing that they do to successful black men, which is only something you go to in the most desperate of situations. What else did he say? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's scared, and he tried to head off the audio drop from earlier this morning with that little message there from yesterday. All right, so now let's listen to some of the audio. We've got, how many clips of audio do we have here? We got part 1, we've got part 2, and then we've got the text. Okay, so here we go. Shannon Sharp. This audio was released by, we'll call her Gabby. He outed her. I think, okay, he would know what her name is. So this is audio of Shannon Sharp speaking with Gabby, who is suing him in civil court for $50 million for rape. That's right, civil court for rape, not criminal court. I thought rape was a crime, but apparently no, you can just take a dude's money. So she's suing him. Let's listen. This is the actual audio tape.
Hang up on me, so I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing, Gabby. You want to be a dick to me now, so
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
oh no, have mercy. If you say that one more time, I'm gonna choke the out of you when I see you.
All right, I think right here the pause is because she's making sure that she got that recorded. She is. He says to her, she accuses him of being manipulative, which he absolutely is. Any 60-year-old man dating a 20-year-old broke-ass hot chick is going to be manipulative. The whole scenario is a manipulation. All right. So anyway, so of course he's being manipulated. He doesn't like that. And he responds to her saying, "Don't manipulate me." He responds by saying, "I'm going to choke you when I see you." And then she says nothing. And I believe it's because she's making sure that she got that recorded.
Thank you. One more time, I'm going to choke the out of you when I see you.
If you use that word one more time, I'm going to choke the shit out of you when I see you. That right there. He's done. He's all the facade, the little Potemkin village of good guy, non-scary, welcome them into your living rooms every Sunday. That whole facade was blown to fucking hell when we hear old Shay Shay, the way he deals with women. I'm going to fucking choke you. That's where he went to. That's the kind of man he is. He is the kind of man who has no problem with physical intimidation of women. Now, that doesn't change my vibe on this whole thing. She's a piece of shit whore too. She's just a chick who's trying to get hers. This is ugly. This is what ugly, petty, immoral people, this is what happens when they get into these romantic, transactional relationships, because at some point, he's going to move on. He's going to find another hot chick and you're going to be gone. And then this is what she does. Sues him in civil court for rape. He's done. He's done. He can't be that guy. There is not there's not a brand in America that is going to be comfortable. Well, actually, that's not true. Probably, I don't know. Let me check. Let me see who's advertising on Rogan. I'm sure that, those people don't give a fuck. But there is no brand in America that wants to be associated with a pitchman who says, "I'm going to choke the fuck out of you when I see you." That is bad. That is bad, man. And I know you could say, well, he was just angry, and that's just the kind of thing he says when he's angry. Yeah, well, I get angry too. I've never said that. I get fucking angry and I say things too. Like I might say, just stop being such a fucking cunt. That's like me getting angry. That's like what I do. Maybe I drop the C word. But I don't say, as a 6'5" NFL tight end Hall of Fame, who's probably close to about 260, 270 pounds and yoked like a fucking wildebeest, I don't say to a little 20-year-old girl, "I'm going to fucking choke you." Okay? My brain doesn't go there. His does. Case closed. Piece of shit. Piece of shit.
Thank you.
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
All right, and then she goes, "I don't want to be choked." And you're like, "Yes, you do. You do want to be choked." What is this, something they're into?
Well, I don't want to be choked.
Yes, you do.
All right, so there you go. That's part one. I don't know. It got into some weird thing. Maybe they're into like weird BDSM. Maybe he's going to claim that this is part of their like sexual role playing that they do. I don't know. Anyway, we got a part two here. Let's listen to part two. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. All right, part two of the Shannon Sharp tapes. Here we go. We just heard.
Well, you're coming to LA tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Daddy.
All right, so he's telling her in this phone call, he's telling her that he's coming to LA, and it sounds like he wants to go out somewhere. He needs a date. He needs a hot chick on his arm for something. So he's calling her, and she says, "You're coming to LA. I don't know why you want to go out." Well, what does that suggest? Is that like just stay in and fuck? That's what you guys do? Is that what you're thinking? Just stay in. I've got the house all wired up. I'm going to provoke you into losing your shit, and then I'm going to what is that? That's kind of a weird, let's keep listening.
Well, I don't know why you want to go out.
Don't worry about it, Gabby.
Well, okay.
Okay, what?
Well, I'm not really interested in getting choked, so I guess we're going.
Yeah. I might choke you in public. Big black guy chokes small white woman.
It's a weird thing to say.
It's not a good look, Shannon.
Not a good look that you did with the shit you did to me.
What'd she do?
Okay.
Well, first of all, can I just say, she sounds charming. Doesn't she just sound like she just crackles with life? Doesn't she sound like she's totally worth all of this? She sounds like just a wonderful woman. He sounds like an asshole, and she sounds like exactly what I thought she was. Some gold digging bullshit. If she was raped, you go to the police. You get rapists off the street. You don't just try and sue them. You don't give a shit about society. You don't give a shit about him doing this again to somebody else. As long as you get your money for what happened to you, fuck you. If he raped you, let's get a police investigation. Let's figure this out. Let's go. Probably because the police wouldn't file criminal charges in this case. So her only recourse is to go civil. And that's why I don't consider her a victim. All right. I consider her a dumb young woman who got into a situation with a wealthy, powerful celebrity, older men, not the first. She's been thrown away like the hot little disposable piece of, whatever that these men think they are. You're not the first, sweetie. You're not the last. But I'm telling you, trying to claim a man raped you is absolutely nonsense, especially in light of this. Let's look at some of these. These are text messages that have been released. By the way, we'll get a look at her here. You want to see what she looks like? Here you go. All right, here she is. There's old Gabby. Look at her. She's there's him. Yeah. Wait, there we go. Yeah, there's him. And there's her. And there, aren't they a lovely couple? All right, let's see some of these text messages, okay? I'll read them to you because I don't know. All right. Can we see these? Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm going to read them to you, okay? So this is, I'll read the top one because I don't know how big it is on your screen. I'll read the top one. This is from Gabby to Shannon Sharp. She says, "But I cried when you left because I begged you to put a condom on and not put it in my ass. And you didn't listen. I don't care what our history is. No means no, Shannon." All right. There you go. I don't know, man. Call the police. If you've just been raped, call the police. All right, now let's move down here. This is also from Gabby. She says to him, "I don't know how to process this." That's what she says to him. All right, so now he responds. Shannon responds to this. "Can I call you later?" I think he's busy. He's hanging out with the boys. He's like, he's doing whatever. He's on the set. He's joking around. He's having fun. "Can I call you later?" he says. He don't give a shit about her. He's like, ugh. All right, let's see. This is from her. She sent this to him. "I want to be abused, Daddy." All right, are you seeing this one? From Gabby. "I want to be abused, Daddy." And then the next one here from her says, "I want like some hardcore BDSM action thing." All right, so that's a text that she sent to him. So, when he's saying to her, well, we have all this in context. Obviously, they've got a really kinky, relationship going on here. Okay. Anal sex is something that they're doing, although she says she doesn't like it. But then there are other texts where she's saying that she wants to be abused, that she wants to do some hardcore BDSM. Then we hear in their conversation, he goes with the whole, I'm going to choke you. Now, without having the context, and he's saying that we should hear the whole 10 minutes. I'd like to hear the whole 10 minutes. And by the way, Tony Busby, the attorney for this victim, quote, quote, victim, the attorney is saying that there is a videotape that he is going to be releasing today. So maybe, I don't know, maybe that's already out. I don't know. But my point is this. I don't know what my point is, other than to say, where are we? Hold on. Where are we at? Okay. I know what I was trying to say. Okay, so these texts suggest, especially since she's the one texting, I want to be abused, daddy, and she texts, I want like some hardcore BDSM action, though. I want some hardcore BDSM action, though, she says in another text. So maybe in their phone conversation, we don't know. Maybe their relationship is one that's pretty steeped in this kind of sex play. So for him to say to her, I'm going to choke you when I see you in public, is that an ongoing sex thing that they're doing about choking? Like he knows that she's into choking. So it isn't like he's saying this to just some random civilian who has no history of choke conversation with him. Like, is she into choking? I don't know. These texts, these two texts right here, I want to be abused, daddy, and I want like some hardcore BDSM action, though. Those two texts, I'm telling you, they change everything for me. I'm wondering this whole thing. I want the full 10-minute phone conversation. Shannon says play the whole conversation. We're only getting little clips. Barney says that it sounds like she's got a mute button on her end because the rhythm of the conversation is off. The rhythm of the conversation, Barney, is off because that's heavily edited. Now, I know that I'm wearing headphones and I have a history. I know how to edit, and I've worked in radio and editing and all that, and I know how things sound when that is heavily edited, right? I mean, but I don't even think that Tony Busby, the attorney who released it, is even denying that. I think he's saying, here's just a little chunk, there's more. So we'll see. Al is in the chat room. What is Al saying in the chat room? I said I wanted to hear what you people think about all this. So let's start with Al. Al says, I want to be abused. She was presenting herself as a freak to hook him. Money grab. This was planned for a long time. I don't know if it was planned for a long time. I think that in the beginning, she actually thought, oh my God, everybody has dreams of being the princess, swept off their feet by the Prince Charming. And in this case, it's a 16-year-old completely yoked former NFL player. I believe that in the beginning, she probably thought this could be a thing. He's going to be my Prince Charming, and I'm going to live in a beautiful mansion, and we're going to fly private, and I'm going to know Skip Bayless. Not that that means anything to her, but, that was sort of the life I think that she was imagining with him. And then when she began to realize that this whole thing, that she was just, another place for him to stick his dick. We know about these pro football players. We know about these pro athletes. Once she realized that, I think that her metric changed, and she began, I don't want to say conspiring with anyone. Maybe she did it all on her own, but hold on a second, guys. Yikes. Jeez. I got to go silent for a second. I accidentally did something. Hold on. I can't believe we got to do this again. That's okay. Stick with me. We got some things to do here. Hold on. I got to be right back again. I got to do this real quick. Okay. Just got to do this real quick. All right. Are we back? Is the microphone working? Because the box just went kaput in the middle of that. I don't know. Is the microphone working now, or is it going through the speaker in the computer? Because fuck me if that's what's happening, because it's saying that's not what's happening, but I got a feeling that is what's happening. How does it sound? Is the microphone working? All right. Sound is echoing. How about now? Sorry, I had to change something. Nope, that's bad. Hold on. My equipment that I've been using for all these many years is kind of getting a little bit skittish. So, all right. All right. Does this work? Is this microphone working, or is it echoey and coming through the computer? I recognize that last time it was echoey. So I will now wait. I will now wait, and then we will proceed with the show. Mic is still not on. Yes. See, but here's the thing. Yes, it is. It is. I am looking at it on. Yeah, I don't get it. Fucking do it again. All right. Connect, disconnect. Come on, motherfucking mic. How about now? Now is it better? I hate all of this. All right, how about now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You sound like you are in a tunnel. Yes. Okay, that would have been from 30 seconds ago. All right. Al says it sounds good to me, but I don't know. I need someone to respond to the stuff that I'm saying right now. And tell me if this sounds like it's going through the microphone or through the computer, because it's telling me that it's going through the microphone, but it's obviously not. Mm-hmm. Okay, still nobody's. God, how long is this delay? Computer, thank you. It is still the computer. No rainy day. See, I can't have two people. I can't have one person going. No, I need it to be the microphone, and it's not the fucking microphone. Audio. Okay. Zoom P4 audio. Check. All right, now let's do the other one. Headphones. Headphones. Zoom P4. Check. All right, check. Do it again. I have no idea. I see, because I can't tell. I can't tell in my headphones. In my headphones, it sounds great. In my headphones, it sounds like I'm talking through the fucking mic. Right? But all right. Fuck this. Show's done. All right, so I'm tearing everything down. We're ending the show. I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We're going to be doing hopefully a stream tonight if I can figure out what all this is. I'm done monkeying around with it right now. We just did 2 hours. We'll see you later tonight. Like, follow, subscribe. Shockhouse Dallas. We'll do a draft preview tonight. This is fucking driving me nuts, and I need to go kick walls. Bye.